I want you to think about the last time an entirely new technology created and destroyed as much wealth as the internet did between 1995 and 2010. Amazon went from an online bookstore to the most valuable retailer on earth. Borders Books, 40 years in business, 19,000 employees, gone. Kodak invented the digital camera, sat on it, and then watched digital cameras destroy everything they had built. Nokia made the best phones in the world and missed the smartphone moment so completely that they went from 40% global market share to near irrelevance in under a decade. The internet created an estimated 15 million jobs in America alone. It also wiped out entire industries that had existed for a century. That was the internet. AI is moving at least 10 times faster, and most people, most businesses, most governments, most individuals are still essentially standing on the platform watching the train leave. Today, I want to have an honest, clear eyed conversation about what is actually coming, who will benefit, who will be left behind, and what you can do right now to make sure you are on the right side of one of the most significant economic transformations in human history. Welcome back to the Global Transformation Forum. I'm Dr. Vivian Atud, economist, author, and someone who has spent years sitting at the intersection of technology, economics, and what I'd call the human consequences of change. This is season 3, episode 2. And if last week we talked about the world being rebuilt, today we are getting very specific about one of the most powerful wrecking balls and construction cranes operating simultaneously in that rebuild: artificial intelligence. The word AI has been around for decades. Most of us heard about it in science fiction before we encountered it in real life. That changed in November 2022 when OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public. In 2 months, it hit 100 million users. It took Instagram 2.5 years to reach that same number. Goldman Sachs estimated that AI could automate 300 million jobs. The World Economic Forum projected 97 million new roles, but displacement of 85 million. The disruption is not evenly distributed. Point one: AI is not replacing jobs. It is replacing people who don't use AI. I want to push back on the framing that AI will take your job because I think it is both partially true and dangerously misleading. In field after field, writing, graphic design, basic coding, legal research, financial analysis, AI tools are not eliminating the profession. They are creating a two-tier workforce within each profession. Tier 1, the people who have learned to use AI tools fluently. These people are producing work at a quality and volume that was physically impossible before. A copywriter who uses AI can now manage the workload of 3 copywriters. Tier 2, the people who haven't adapted. They are producing work at the same pace and the same quality as 3 years ago, and increasingly employers and clients are noticing. I spoke with the head of a mid-sized marketing agency recently, and she told me something that stopped me in my tracks. She said, "I haven't laid anyone off because of AI, but when people leave, I'm replacing their output with a subscription to 3 AI tools." That is the quiet, bloodless version of disruption. It doesn't show up as a mass layoff announcement. It shows up as a hiring freeze, a restructuring, a role that simply doesn't get refilled. And it is already happening right now. The people who will thrive are not the ones who resist AI. They are the people who treat AI fluency the way their parents' generation treated computer literacy in the 1990s, as the absolute baseline for professional relevance. Point 2: the fortunes being built right now are in the application layer, not in the models. Don't make the mistake of thinking you've missed the boat because you can't build a large language model. Think about the internet boom. The foundational infrastructure was enormously capital intensive, but the fortunes that came after, Amazon, Google, Airbnb, Uber, Netflix, Shopify, None of these companies built the internet. They built things on top of it. They found specific problems, specific frictions in human life, and used the internet's infrastructure to solve them better than anyone had before. We are at that exact moment with AI. The application layer is still almost entirely open. I think about healthcare, the specific application of AI to early cancer detection from radiology scans, drug interaction analysis in pharmacies, mental health screening tools in under resourced communities. I think about agriculture, using AI and satellite data to predict crop diseases in Africa. For a continent where agriculture employs over 60% of the workforce, this is an economic transformation catalyst. I think about legal services in emerging markets, where AI powered legal tools could democratize access to justice in ways that decades of NGO work haven't managed. The fortunes will come from people who deeply understand a specific problem and are smart enough to wrap AI around it. If you have deep expertise in any field, you are already halfway there. Will you act or wait for someone else? Point three, there will be a global geography of AI winners, and Africa can be one of them, but only if we are intentional. The history of transformative technologies has not been kind to Africa. The Industrial Revolution happened extractively at our expense. The digital revolution reached us late, partially and largely on other people's terms. M-Pesa in Kenya was a rare case where an African country led. The mobile money revolution is the exception, not the rule. And I find myself thinking, what is our posture going to be with AI? Because the countries that benefit will be the ones building capacity to use it and adapt it. Rwanda has integrated coding into its curriculum. South Africa has research infrastructure. Nigeria's tech ecosystem has produced world class engineering talent. But green shoots are not a strategy. The risk that keeps me up at night is that we sleepwalk into being the world's largest consumer market for AI products designed by others, governed by others, for the benefit of others. The counter to that risk is urgency, investment, the kind of deliberate government backed capacity building that South Korea did with its semiconductor industry in the 70s and 80s. Nobody handed them that. They built it with intention and they built it fast. The window is open, but it is not permanently open. 5 years from now, the landscape will be significantly more entrenched. We need to move now as individuals, as companies, and as governments. I want to leave you with something I genuinely believe. Every major technological revolution in human history has produced in its first chaotic decade more fear than fortune. But so was the creation of new industries, new possibilities, new ways of living and working that were genuinely unimaginable before the technology existed. The same God who put the ingenuity in us to create this technology put within us the ingenuity to navigate it. The same creativity will find its expression in this new landscape too. The question is not whether AI will change your world, it already has. The question is whether you will be the person who shapes that change or the person it happens to. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts for deeper thinking. My books are available on Amazon, 10 titles designed to give you the mindset for this world. Find me at dadavivianatud.com. Next episode, we are going to zoom all the way in on Africa specifically. Why Africa's youth wave is the single most important leadership opportunity on earth right now. Stay sharp, stay bold, and keep transforming.